Light has let life thrive and led us forward as we explore. Light has been our guide, but it has also empowered us. It is the spark that opened up a whole new world of discovery. Light has shown us the world. Optical networks let us connect it. Optical networks are enriching and evolving the online experience. From KB to MB, from GB to TB, today's optical networks are integrated into every way of life. In the world of tomorrow, optical networks will unleash even greater potential. Fiber connections will move deeper into data centers, bringing a new level of energy savings and efficiency. Optical connections will extend to every room, every desk, every machine, delivering a super-fast, ultra-smooth internet experience to each member of every family, enabling long-distance medical services that will span the globe, bringing hopes for better health to millions. Bring the holographic forms of partners and teammates from across the globe to your desktop, making millisecond trading a reality, giving investors a split-second advantage, adding new momentum to industrial development through production automation with smarter, connected machines, empowering cities to make the leap into the future of new intelligence and propelling the world in smarter directions. The future is within our reach. With OptiX, Huawei will bring optical connectivity to every corner of our lives. With OptiX access, we will overcome distances and break down boundaries. And with OptiTrans, we will harness the power of optical data transmission across cities and continents, connecting the world as one. The intelligent OptiX network will connect everyone, everywhere, at the dawn of a brilliant new era.
在大自然中，隐是一种本能，是巧妙的藏匿，是看不见却无处不在的生机。隐也是人与自然和谐共处的方式。建筑可以巧妙地藏匿于自然，搭起我们与自然沟通的桥梁。在彩云之南，建筑正与万亩森林融为一体。
酒店建筑材料的选择需要取自自然，腾冲地处火山带，这里的食材非常丰富。我们看到的酒店的立面、路面，都选用了云南不同的6种天然的食材。门口的这个小溪和脚下走的这条路，依山而建，顺势设计。
在隐于自然的建筑里，我们可以拥有另一种生活方式。在山野林泉中，唤起最初的向往。隐于自然的生活，并不意味着与世界失联，也可以拥有现代化的体验。创新技术为这片原生态的栖息地带来了无处不在的连接，也让大自然中的智能生活留下最少的痕迹。
整个酒店占地30万平方米，400多套别墅，并且非常的分散。如果用老的方案来部署网络的话，总共建设下来就有将近需要100个酒店资房，需要非常多的资源，而且还会影响周边的一个环境。所以选用光纤网络可以简化网络架构，节省80%以上的机房空间。要满足酒店的网络需求，如果用铜线就需要一大捆。但光纤的话，只需要很细的一根线， 光纤传输的耗损也更少，也就更绿色环保。
隐于山间的居所，融入自然的连接，造就静谧的栖息之地，让人与自然和谐相处。
Orizzonte is a resort in the Tuscan seafront, immersed in the greenery of the Etruscan coast, equipped with all the comforts for a holiday with the whole family.
The need to provide latest generation ICT services has emerged also and above or to this type of customers. It has become essential to provide a strong and secure internet connection to all our guests, which in the summer exceed 2,000 visitors per day.
During the COVID period, we saw the development of smart working. More and more people who stay with us now work without any problems from their apartment or at the tables in our lounge bars.
With the increasing requirements for video calls, high bandwidth Wi-Fi and smarter hotel services, the original network needs to be upgraded. The updating network solution has become more and more complex.
After market research, we chose Huawei Campus OptiX solution to build our private network, which is customary for public open fiber networks. Over 300 access points have been installed to give our guests efficient Wi-Fi coverage.
The best advantage is that the network is green, stable and reliable with simple maintenance.
The new network provided by Huawei calls for less power supply. It helps us to reduce over 6,500 kilos carbon dioxide emissions inside the village every year, which is the same as to plant 300 more trees inside.
In addition, by using optical fibers instead of copper wire, Huawei Campus OptiX solution provide full connectivity abilities in every room. Cable TV, voice phone and wireless internet access requirements of guests are achieved through only one fiber with a small box terminal. We provide sufficient bandwidth for all the travelers in the village. At the same time, the easily and fully covered Wi-Fi access enable the unlimited smart services experience at all the time. After upgrading the hotel network, we saw a very good performance with our network with super smooth connection and no complaints about the quality of the network.
The next step will be to use the new infrastructure to increase the security of the village. Video surveillance, cameras in all sensitive points and advanced access control systems for the vehicular flow and for people. Basically, all the operation and maintenance can be handled easily and remotely with no more than one engineer anytime. This is very efficient for our village.
Il progetto consiste in una realizzazione di una rete GPON Gigabit Passive Optical Network, di Private Network, in una rete Wi-Fi 6 dove era necessario per il cliente dare la possibilità ai loro ospiti di poter avere la connessione Wi-Fi. L'infrastruttura realizzata a livello di multiservizio consente al cliente di appoggiarsi più servizi. Quindi dal VoIP al Digital Signage, IPTV, TVCC, domotica, una vera e propria private network, multi-accesso, multi-device, multi-servizi.
Huawei Campus OptiX solution brings us to a greener journey through the eco-friendly connectivity around our village. With the help of Huawei, we hope Villaggio Orizzonte can get closer to the nature while provide the best network experience to the tourists all over the world. Huawei Campus OptiX a future-proof campus network solution ready to bring green, stable and easy choice for you.
Since the beginning, light has always been with us. Light has let life thrive and led us forward as we explore. Light has been our guide, but it has also empowered us. It is the spark that opened up a whole new world of discovery. Light has shown us the world. Optical networks let us connect it. Optical networks are enriching and evolving the online experience. From KB to MB, from GB to TB, today's optical networks are integrated into every way of life. In the world of tomorrow, optical networks will unleash even greater potential. Fiber connections will move deeper into data centers, bringing a new level of energy savings and efficiency. Optical connections will extend to every room, every desk, every machine, delivering a super-fast, ultra-smooth internet experience to each member of every family, enabling long-distance medical services that will span the globe, bringing hopes for better health to millions. Bring the holographic forms of partners and teammates from across the globe to your desktop, making millisecond trading a reality, giving investors a split-second advantage, adding new momentum to industrial development through production automation with smarter, connected machines, empowering cities to make the leap into the future of new intelligence and propelling the world in smarter directions. The future is within our reach. With OptiX, Huawei will bring optical connectivity to every corner of our lives. With OptiX access, we will overcome distances and break down boundaries. And with OptiTrans, we will harness the power of optical data transmission across cities and continents, connecting the world as one. The intelligent OptiX network will connect everyone, everywhere, at the dawn of a brilliant new era.
在大自然中，隐是一种本能，是巧妙的藏匿，是看不见却无处不在的生机。隐也是人与自然和谐共处的方式。建筑可以巧妙地藏匿于自然，搭起我们与自然沟通的桥梁。在彩云之南，建筑正与万亩森林融为一体。
酒店建筑材料的选择需要取自自然，腾冲地处火山带，这里的食材非常丰富。我们看到的酒店的立面、路面，都选用了云南不同的6种天然的食材。门口的这个小溪和脚下走的这条路，依山而建，顺势设计。
在隐于自然的建筑里，我们可以拥有另一种生活方式。在山野林泉中，唤起最初的向往。隐于自然的生活，并不意味着与世界失联，也可以拥有现代化的体验。创新技术为这片原生态的栖息地带来了无处不在的连接，也让大自然中的智能生活留下最少的痕迹。
整个酒店占地30万平方米，400多套别墅，并且非常的分散。如果用老的方案来部署网络的话， 总共建设下来就将近需要100个厨电自发，需要非常多的资源，而且还会影响周边的一个环境。所以选用光纤网络可以简化网络架构，节省80%以上的机房空间。要满足酒店的网络需求，如果用铜线就需要一大捆，但光纤的话只需要很细的一根线，光纤传输的耗损也更少，也就更绿色环保。
隐于山间的居所，融入自然的连接，造就静谧的栖息之地，让人与自然和谐相处。
Orizzonte is a resort in the Tuscan seafront, immersed in the greenery of the Etruscan coast, equipped with all the comforts for a holiday with the whole family.
The need to provide latest generation ICT services has emerged also and above or to this type of customers. It has become essential to provide a strong and secure internet connection to all our guests, which in the summer exceed 2,000 visitors per day.
During the COVID period, we saw the development of smart working. More and more people who stay with us now work without any problems from their apartment or at the tables in our lounge bars.
With the increasing requirements for video calls, high bandwidth Wi-Fi and smarter hotel services, the original network needs to be upgraded. The updating network solution has become more and more complex.
After market research, we chose Huawei Campus OptiX solution to build our private network, which is customary for public open fiber networks. Over 300 access points have been installed to give our guests efficient Wi-Fi coverage.
The best advantage is that the network is green, stable and reliable with simple maintenance.
The new network provided by Huawei calls for less power supply. It helps us to reduce over 6,500 kilos carbon dioxide emissions inside the village every year, which is the same as to plant 300 more trees inside.
In addition, by using optical fibers instead of copper wire, Huawei Campus OptiX solution provide full connectivity abilities in every room. Cable TV, voice phone and wireless internet access requirements of guests are achieved through only one fiber with a small box terminal. We provide sufficient bandwidth for all the travelers in the village. At the same time, the easily and fully covered Wi-Fi access enable the unlimited smart services experience at all the time. After upgrading the hotel network, we saw a very good performance with our network with super smooth connection and no complaints about the quality of the network.
The next step will be to use the new infrastructure to increase the security of the village. Video surveillance, cameras in all sensitive points and advanced access control systems for the vehicular flow and for people. Basically, all the operation and maintenance can be handled easily and remotely with no more than one engineer anytime. This is very efficient for our village.
Il progetto consiste in una realizzazione di una rete GPON Gigabit Passive Optical Network di Private Network, in una rete Wi-Fi 6 dove era necessario per il cliente dare la possibilità ai loro ospiti di poter avere la connessione Wi-Fi. L'infrastruttura realizzata a livello di multiservizio consente al cliente di appoggiarsi più servizi. Quindi dal VoIP al Digital Signage, IPTV, TVCC, domotica, una vera e propria private network, multi-accesso, multi-device, multi-servizi.
Huawei Campus OptiX solution brings us to a greener journey through the eco-friendly connectivity around our village. With the help of Huawei, we hope Villaggio Orizzonte can get closer to the nature while provide the best network experience to the tourists all over the world. Huawei Campus OptiX, a future-proof campus network solution ready to bring green, stable and easy choice for you.
Since the beginning, light has always been with us. Light has let life thrive and led us forward as we explore. Light has been our guide, but it has also empowered us. It is the spark that opened up a whole new world of discovery. Light has shown us the world. Optical networks let us connect it. Optical networks are enriching and evolving the online experience. From KB to MB, from GB to TB, today's optical networks are integrated into every way of life. In the world of tomorrow, optical networks will unleash even greater potential. Fiber connections will move deeper into data centers, bringing a new level of energy savings and efficiency. Optical connections will extend to every room, every desk, every machine, delivering a super-fast, ultra-smooth internet experience to each member of every family, enabling long-distance medical services that will span the globe, bringing hopes for better health to millions. Bring the holographic forms of partners and teammates from across the globe to your desktop, making millisecond trading a reality, giving investors a split-second advantage, adding new momentum to industrial development through production automation with smarter, connected machines, empowering cities to make the leap into the future of new intelligence and propelling the world in smarter directions. The future is within our reach. With OptiX, Huawei will bring optical connectivity to every corner of our lives. With OptiX Access, we will
snowfall on the ice sheet summit, sounding a warning bell for humanity. Without immediate and effective mitigation actions, the average global surface temperature will further rise by approximately 1.2 degrees Celsius by 2050. In that situation, coral reefs would be reduced by 70% to 90%. Crop yields would fall by 20% worldwide. Moreover, sea levels would rise by 0.25 meters to 0.3 meters. More than 800 million people in coastal cities around the world will be directly at risk of major coastal flooding. 2021 marked the first year of global goals being set to achieve carbon neutrality. 136 countries have set carbon neutrality targets. Organizations in the ICT industry, such as GESI, GSMA, ITU, and SBTI, have jointly formulated ICT industry carbon reduction targets and roadmaps, which provide an action plan for the industry as a whole. However, all ambitious plans need to be rooted in a solid foundation. As the basis of the ICT industry, telecom network must become more efficient and energy-saving, thereby enabling emission reduction of all industries. Let's focus on innovation and the future together and jointly explore the development of green networks for the industry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As technologies evolve, industrial digital transformation becomes influential in every aspect. Traditional network infrastructure is struggling to cope with growing demands. It becomes evident that the benefits of optical technology have touched every corner of the industries. Huawei has been a leader and an innovator in optical technology since more than a decade. Today, we are happy to have you here participating in this event, focusing on Huawei's new concept of Green Intelligent Optics Network, addressing the common concern of industrial transformation. Today, we are honored to have invited Mr. Andrew Keynes, Principal Analyst from Forrester, Dr. Liu Xiang, IEEE Fellow, Mr. Marco Giraldo, Senior Technical Specialist from Huawei, Mr. Dennis Koskum, Vice General Manager of TEIAS, to bring topics on stage. Also, Mr. Xu Xiaoliang, Director of Optical Fiber Affairs Department from Shandong Yihua Gas, to share online topics with you on optical network. Now, we are going to have with us Mr. Andrew Keynes from Forrester, and his topic is POL, Unlocking the Business Value of Green Campus Networks. Welcome, Mr. Andrew.
Thank you very much for coming to this session, and I want to thank the Huawei team for inviting me to present on the topic of passive optical LAN. It's been a little while since I've been traveling, and anybody else? Yeah, back there. I got a little chance to sit when I was sitting on the plane, kind of reflecting and looking at the families around me, people with their kids, and keeping them entertained, and I realized that as a father of two twin boys, I've gotten pretty soft or pretty easy compared to my parents, if you think about it. I mean, the fact is that how much the mobile phone has changed, the way we are doing things in our personal lives. I mean, sure, it's changed a little bit of work, but you think about how much it entertains our kids, the iPads and phones themselves, and restaurants and in planes. Maybe I'm the only bad parent here, but I do use it as quite a crutch. But I would also say that, a big change in the last 10 years or 15 years has been the desktop or the laptops, right? And mostly a lot of that change has been within the carpeted areas, the offices. We've seen secretary pools disappear, the way we communicate, the things we get done, very, very, very different. Even as an ex-aerospace engineer, moving from designing on blueprints and paper to being able to do CAD, a big change in what's happening. But I would fundamentally say that we're going through a complete readjustment of our personal and our work lives and across the entire board when we think about it, from the idea that with IoT, everything being connected, so with autonomous cars and lighting and other systems out there, from the blue-collar worker in the manufacturing site, from the quick service restaurant personnel, cooking up fries and burgers, a fundamental change is starting to occur in these areas that they didn't see. I mean, the phone, the laptop really didn't affect them in those areas. Even in the house, we think about what IoT is going to be doing to our world around us. And the fact is what our kids will be seeing and experiencing and thinking about how we have to used to do things, maybe order things online. And so when we think about that, we see already an adoption going on in the industry itself from industrial kind of thing, manufacturing and smart utilities starting to pick up these areas, and other ones, healthcare, starting to do more with IoT. And you're probably asking, why am I bringing this up? Because I think this is fundamentally changing what we see going on when it comes to networking. We're already seeing the cellular industry switch and recognize this in the creation of 5G. I would even say that in the wired world, we're going to be breaking the mold of what we've done in the past of always following on the typical ways of doing networking in the side of the business, of using the traditional wired copper as a way of making and connecting assets together, to fundamentally changing what's going on in that area. Now, this doesn't mean that the idea that passive optical LAN wasn't good or isn't good to be able to use today. I think a big shift is going to be breaking into people's minds of what they've done in the past when it comes to networking, and starting to embrace passive optical LAN as a methodology, as a main structure to the business inside the buildings or inside of different areas outside, as a medium of connecting things together. Now, I want to start you off with the idea that Traditionally, we always talk about types of things in technology and using kind of back-of-the-envelope examples, using adverbs and adjectives to describe efficiency, quicker, being more responsive to the business. But I think it's also important, and we're starting to being pushed in this direction by the business itself, is when you're investing in technology, is there a value to it? And at Forrester, we've designed this, and we've built a capability called a Total Economic Report. In that, it's taking the idea of total cost of ownership, which is the cost basis, adding in ROI, the benefits of it, and then taking it to the next level, thinking things down the road of understanding those risk and flexibility behind the investments you make, and what does that mean from the investments you're doing in that area. And we do this for different companies out there who want their technology and look at it, and is it something valuable that an organization can use, and can the business use it itself? And so we took a look at passive optical LAN, and we built the idea of, is it valuable to the business itself? Is there a return on it itself? To make sure that we're not just giving you kind of lip service or just kind of, some crazy back-of-the-envelope kind of calculations, throwing things against the wall. We actually have a systematic formal approach to creating an analysis behind what's going on and modeling a type of technology out there. And so we interview customers, we kind of create a composite organization, and then we start to do an analysis over a 3 to 5 year period on the value of a technology itself. I don't have time to get into the tables and everything. You can download the report, but what I want to get into, and partially into it, is understand where some of the data came into this. So besides our own research and surveys, we go out and interview customers out there, and ranging from 5 or 10,000 to 100,000 employees in different industries, from manufacturing to healthcare to retail. And these ones are typically the customers that have been using that type of product for at least 6 months to a year to 5 years down the road, to really get the essence of the value of a technology itself. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I believe that passive optical LAN will be a huge shift in what's occurring within, becoming a huge part of the network for the enterprise itself because of IoT. But there's already, as I mentioned, a value to it. A lot of customers, a lot of organizations don't realize that we have today. If we just take a look at deployments in a traditional way of what we think about in the healthcare or in the manufacturing area itself, is just the value of adding passive optical LAN as part of your overall network infrastructure. Does it replace everything? No. Is it augment? Yes. Or could it be the total replacement? Yes. But there's different ways of approaching this. But ultimately, what we're finding over that 3 year period is 192% return on the investment itself. I think if I remember right, there's about a 7 or 19-month payback on it. Very critical in thinking about that. These are the numbers that the business wants to hear. Instead of going to the business and just telling the business, hey, we need to invest in anything because it's more efficient or whatever, that's not working anymore. Trust me. They're getting smart. Because a lot of businesses have been burned on by technology. You see companies go down because of the systems, and especially with the networks not working in a particular way. You'll see, like in the U.S. airlines, they've had outages from United and Southwest because they didn't invest in the right way, and it cost them $280 million because they didn't make the right choice. The businesses are starting to hold the technologies departments accountable. And so when we look at this, some of the things we need to think about is the fact is that passive optical LAN is already being used in various verticals out there. And we think about the hospitality industry and the value behind these large, and if you were here earlier on, you saw some of the examples that was going on there in highly dispersed types of hotels, where you have rooms in different areas and different buildings, but even the rooms themselves, you think about the realities of being able to rip out and replace just to keep up with the technology that's being put in there. It makes sense from a perspective of building something once and you continue to use it over 5, 10, 20 years, that ability to use those fiber lines to make those connections in room and offer better technology in those areas. And think about it from an IoT perspective and what's occurring in hotel rooms. You walk in the room, the curtains close, the lightings go down, the music comes on depending on your preference, all being connected by a single type of network that can grow as changes are being done within a hotel system. We even think about universities, which are completely spread out in large areas itself. You think about the core essence of what optical LANs have done, or even optical connections, is connecting those distances together. Let alone, typically universities are on the cutting edge of new technology and need to invest in those areas without having to do a bunch of rip and replaces within these infrastructures and make big changes in these areas itself. And there's areas within the university where there's scientific experiments going on that you can't have exothermic reactions, or there might be certain certain spectrum that are causing some issues with copper. These are some of the things you think about when you're building out your optical LAN and your network. The fact is that what is the value it's bringing and what things can it do to help deal with new and emerging technologies in these areas. And whereas part of the interview process, but as near and dear to my heart as a past aerospace manufacturing engineer, there's never a better place for technology, this type of technology, than in the manufacturing area. And I talk about exothermic, I talk about caustic wireless environments, even this messing up the connections and packets going through a copper connection itself. It just doesn't make sense in many ways to use any other technology than optical LANs to connect things together within these areas, whether it be flow meters, whether it be a connection across the exothermic chamber that's rising heat. These are the areas and things, and this is why in that the second slide I showed you, that there was such an embrace of IoT in these areas itself. And a lot of it, and most of it, will be connected by passive optical LAN and wireless technologies in this area itself. The other thing we need to think about, which is being brought up, and as someone who's lived in Las Vegas the last 15 years, one of the major lakes that support the West Coast has dropped by 25% over a 15-year period. We all are recognizing, and maybe some of us not, but there are changes afoot. And we have to make changes in the world around us as well. And we have to think about, when it comes to networking, is that not part of the energy usage? Is that not part of something we need to think about when it comes to green technology and choosing the best type of technology out there, not just from the perspective of the numbers I gave you and the return on the value itself, or the fact it can meet certain environmental conditions, but we also think about the energy usage of this type of technology and contributing to the savings within that building itself or within the environment of the area that it's serving. And so you start to see in some of this fact is you have a financial analysis, you've got a fit, form, and function capability of passive optical LAN, as well as a green energy capability that helps deliver more benefit to this capability itself. Oh, wrong way. And so as Forrester Research, we're looking at this technology and seeing that almost over the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to see about almost a 20% CAGR on this type of technology being used in organizations. It will outpace the typical Ethernet wired copper connections you see out there by a magnitude or more. So there's a high adoption rate that you'll be seeing occurring within this industry. And the important part of it is to think about it from a skills and investment area to really evaluate this as part of your next network refresh. So let me just leave this with you, is the fact is, think about from a financial perspective, from a numbers perspective, it makes sense. 192% return. From the idea of thinking about IoT connections and the value and where these things are going to be connected and all the devices are going to be connected and the environments are going to be in, it makes sense. It makes sense from a green value to look at it as an option or as a mainstay in your network itself. And maybe some of the reasons that I mentioned before that it hasn't been adopted as quickly until now is a lot of it is because we get stuck in the same things we do. A lot of networking professionals are middle-aged men who sometimes don't want to change. And my challenge to you is to ask them to look at something like this and say that what value does it not bring, or can it bring more value than what we have today, and make that choice. Get out of that rut we've done in the past. The last thing I want to leave with you is The idea is you're already seeing it in the industrial sector itself. There's great return and value on it. And we'll start to see this in the hospitality, the healthcare industry, and the universities will be one of the major adopters of this type of technology. I hope it was a quick 10, 15 minutes. Just wanted to give you a high level of our presentation, our research to present to you. I hope this has been valuable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Under, for your insightful presentation. Optical LAN network brings optical connections to the desktop and to the machines. The business value of this technology has gained increasing consensus across industries. As carbon neutral concept is brought to awareness in recent years and green concept becomes so vital in protecting a planet, practicing and reducing carbon emission has become a responsibility for every person, every company, and every organization. We are very happy now to invite Mr. Richard Dean to bring us the topic of the event today, Green Intelligent Optics Network, lighting up the way to industrial digitalization. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Richard Dean from Huawei. This afternoon, I would like to share, some new, new thoughts on the enterprise side. No matter you are on-site or online, we are now in a period of global uncertainty. The pandemic is ongoing, and global warming, economic growth are bothering us. However, industry cloud digitalization is a very important method for us to address those challenges. Yeah? More than 170 countries, including Europe members, have released their digital strategies. When we talk about digital infrastructure, which includes intelligent terminal and connection and cloud and applications, yeah? Like the picture shows, connection is the most important part because no high quality connections, no industrial digitalization. Therefore, how to build or reconstruct connections? What factors should we focus on? In my opinion, first of all, connections must be green. Compared with copper cables, fiber are recognized as the greener and better medium for many reasons. Just now, Andrew introduced the applications, the fiber, how to use it in campus. First, they are made of sand. The carbon footprint in the production is only a quarter of that of copper cables. Second, the optical fiber has a long service time and does not need to be replaced for 30 years, a very, very long life cycle. Third, there is no heat loss during transmission of optical signal through the fiber. According to the research report of Germany, Ministry of Environment and Natural Conservation, carbon emission of optical communication is 50% lower than the cable, than the Ethernet cable. We also need to consider the connection requirements of production services. Compared with office services, just now introduced, production services need higher quality, much higher quality. Therefore, only connectivity is not enough. More factors must be considered. For instance, when connections are used in high safety scenarios, such as coal mine, the explosion proof must be considered. Another example is in the financial industry. Any transaction data loss may cause economic loss. Therefore, connection must be very, very highly reliable. We believe that only the connections that are safe, intelligent, ultra-broadband, efficient, reliable, and simple can meet the requirements of industrial digitalization. That is, the connection need to compete with fibers. Huawei lead optical technology innovation and provides innovative products and solutions for all customers around the world. Today, we release Green Intelligent Optical Network to build fibers network infrastructure, lighting up the way to industrial digitalization. Now, let's see a short video. Green Intelligent Optics Network provides 5 scenario-based solutions to meet the requirements of industrial digitalization. The 5 solutions are DC optics, single optics, FTTO, FDM, and sensing optics. Later, I will introduce one by one. Now, most financial services can be done on mobile phones or PC. Behind the internet financial is the flow of data. Network quality directly affects customer experience. According to our joint research with the China Banking Association, on average, about 1,000 transactions fail every day. The main cause of these failures is network jitter, which leads to the I/O operation failures of the storage system. Because the storage system cannot detect the status of communication links, it usually takes 1 to 2 minutes to confirm and switch I/O channel. During this period, online transaction may fail. Huawei has both optical network and storage product line. We give full play of our advantages together to implement cross-product collaborative innovation. Today, I would like to introduce the industry first storage optical connection coordination solution, which enables zero failure in financial transaction. In this scenario, this solution implements protocol interaction between the storage and the DCI-WDM system. The DCI-WDM system detects the network jitter and notify the storage system to perform I/O switch over in advance. The entire process takes less than 1 second. In this way, no transaction data is lost. This year, we will also upgrade the DCI system capacity to 96 terabit, which is more than 40% higher than the industry average. And this can help our customer to reduce the fiber rental cost. KCB is the largest commercial bank in Kenya. They have already used our solution. And in just 3 years, the traffic, increased a lot, increased by 2 times. After they select this solution, they reduce the cost. The second one is single optics. In one scenario, we launched the native hard pipe network to meet the service reliability requirements of grid power and transportation. NHP solution supports OSU, the 5th generation hard pipe technology. It is also compatible with PCM, SDH, OTN technologies on existing networks. For instance, in the power grid scenario, traditional power transmission and the distribution communication network are 2 independent networks. As a result, services such power and power IoT are divided into two segments. They cannot be managed in one end-to-end, way. This is a big challenge. In addition, OSU hard pipes also support hitless adjustment of service bandwidth, meeting the increasing bandwidth requirements. CEMIG, one of the largest power companies in Brazil, uses NHP to build a reliable integrated communication network for power transmission and distribution. After they selected this solution, last year, the average power outage time of CEMG was reduced greatly. The third one we call fiber to the office. Fiber to the office. Fiber to the office, let's look at the innovation in campus network scenarios. Based on this, the advantages of IP and optical technology, Huawei launched the FTTO, Simplified Campus Network Solution. FTTO uses optical fiber as communication media and extend the optical fiber to desktop and every corner of a campus. Just now, Andrew introduced a lot of cases, including education campus, hospital, all kinds of campus. Why we provide this good solution to our enterprise customers? The reason is, first, FTTO uses passive splitter to replace active aggregation. Therefore, zero ELV room is required. Just now, we also showed the picture in the previous slide. Second, the unique P2MP PON architecture reduces the usage of optical modules by 50%. This is the reason why it is a cost-effective solution. Third, optical terminal support plug and play and swipe and play. This is very easy for our operation and maintenance engineers. This solution has been widely used in the Dubai Creek Harbor project. Till now, we have already developed more than 100,000 FTTO network for hospitals, school campus, airport, and so on. Today, I would introduce two new products in the FTTO solution. Sorry, where is the product? They forgot. Doesn't matter. The right side, is the smallest ONU in the world. In the world, just like two fingers. However, very very strong. It can support 10G ONU. Therefore, it can be very easily placed everywhere, anywhere. The right side, is another ONU. It is another very, very powerful 10G PON, 10G ONU. It is a panel ONU. It can be very easily to be installed on the wall. The size is similar. It's same with the current, the electricity panel. FTTM is another, scenario. We have also introduced optical network technology to the industrial production scenarios and developed the FTTM, fiber to the machine solution. First, let's look at the first application, FTTM, in ports. Due to labor shortage and the pandemic, the container loading and unloading efficiency is greatly reduced. The turnover of containers is slowed down. Sometimes it's very difficult to rent containers. This is it was very popular in the past 2 years. However, as the world's largest port, the container throughput of Shanghai port reached 47 million in last year, increased by almost 10%. This is mainly due to the development of super distance control systems that improve efficiency. In the past, loading and unloading works had to had to commute nearly 100 kilometers from the city to the dock and climb a 30-meter high, crane to start operations. Yeah, very difficult, very hard work. After the super distance control system is deployed, they only sit in the control room in the city and remotely operate the crane. Yeah? That means we apply the FTTM network to the super distance control scenario for the first time. With the support of the FTTM network, the super distance control system of Shanghai port improves the containers handling efficiency by 32 times. If you visit here, you will find that there is almost no one in the 25 square kilometers of the port area. You can only see that all kinds of machines are running. Yeah? That means with FTTM solution, it can realize long-distance remote control, and the latency is the critical. Yeah? Another example for the FTTM is in the mining. Yeah? In the mining industry, coal power still play an important role in today's energy supply. Yeah? However, the number of workers in the coal mine industry is declining year by year. In China, 2.6 million people are now working in coal mines. Yeah, big number, big number. However, only half the number in 2015. That means no one young people would like to work under the ground. Yeah? Major coal-producing countries around the world are facing similar problems. Therefore, the coal mining industry must start digital transformation to improve efficiency, use the new technology to improve. The introduction of Z devices increase safety risk. According to the data, sparks of electrical equipment are one of the main causes of gas explosion under the ground. Therefore, we introduce the fiber to the coal mine. Compared to the traditional solution, we use passive optical components to replace aggregation switches, achieving 40 kilometers passive transmission from above ground equipment room to the underground terminal. On the terminal side, we launched the industry first intrinsically safe optical terminal, completely, get rid of safety risk. In the case of Hongliulin coal mine in China, no explosion-proof box is deployed for communication equipment on the ground based on our solution. This is the main reason that Hongliulin coal mine was rated as the national model of coal mine safety and efficiency. This is a very, very useful solution for this scenario. Finally, let's look at the third application of FTTM at traffic intersections. Traffic congestion is becoming a pain point in the city. Yeah, just now, even in Barcelona, not big city, yeah, still, traffic jam a lot. Cameras can be deployed to detect the traffic on the road in real time and work with traffic lights to dynamically adjust the traffic light duration, improving traffic efficiency. Therefore, the existing intersection traffic control system needs to be reformed. However, currently, the traditional method is centralized control. That is, all traffic lights and cameras are connected to the signal control cabinet through cables. Usually, more than 170 cables need to be deployed. It is very hard work. We innovatively provide distributed FTTM network solution. In this solution, an embedded terminal is deployed in each direction of an intersection. As a result, construction becomes very simple. Only one optical fiber and 1 power cable are needed. You can use a slotting machine to cut a 3 centimeter, wet top, improving the efficiency by 90%. Yeah, 90%. Here I show one case in China, Taicang city. Yeah, Taicang is a city with a population of 800,000 population. A very, very small city. Yeah. However, it has more than 207,000 vehicles. A lot of vehicles, even in this very small city, and the traffic congestion is a big problem. Finally, they select our FTTM solution as a smart traffic network, and improve the a lot by this solution. Yeah, this solution. The last one is sensing optics. Yeah, sensing optics. Optical fiber can be used not only for communication but also for sensing. Based on more than 30 years of technical accumulation in the optical field, we have launched the industry's most powerful optical fiber sensing solution. Yeah? It is mainly used in oil and gas pipeline inspection. As you know, oil and gas pipelines are the lifeline of industry civilization. However, they often face, threats, including, the engineer construction. Usually, will dig the pipe, and destroyed. Take Pipe China as an example. Pipe China has 90,000 kilometers of oil and gas pipelines now. To ensure pipeline safety, Pipe China has 15,000 inspectors dedicated for, to keep the pipe safety. In the next 3 years, the length of pipelines of Pipe China will continue increase a lot. Therefore, manual pipeline inspection cannot be sustainable. Therefore, they ask we to provide a solution. Yeah, provide a solution. We provide this fiber sensing solution to them. Yeah, to them. And they find this is optical fiber sensing is the only feasible solution for them. Yeah, for them. And as you know, optical fiber sensing reuse the fiber, optical fiber laying along oil and gas pipeline as sensors. No need to put new fiber. Usually, it's put along the pipe. And in the optical fiber sensing benchmark, test by Pipe China, Huawei is the only one vendor, can commercialize this solution. I think if you have the pipeline, whatever oil or gas, you can try this solution. Yeah, you can try this solution. Huawei has been working in Europe for more than 20 years. And recently, Huawei and Fraunhofer HHI, one of the oldest research institutes in Europe, established the Optical Technology Co-Innovation Lab to combine optical technology with industry practice and accelerate the industry digitalization. Yeah? And I find Fraunhofer also have one booth here. Yeah? Let's welcome Martin Schell, Executive Director of Fraunhofer. Fraunhofer, he will give some introduction.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you here at the Fraunhofer Heinrich Hertz Institute in Berlin. My name is Martin Schell. I'm head of the institute, and my personal research focus is on photonic integrated circuits for communication, for quantum communication, and for sensing. Fraunhofer Heinrich Hertz Institute is 93 years old. Nowadays, our research focus is on innovations for the digital society of the future. We partner with the world leaders to develop and showcase new fixed and mobile communication standards. I believe that international collaboration and standardization is a key element to address the great challenges to mankind, including, for example, reducing the energy footprint of the ever-increasing digital communication needs of our world. The societal challenges can be best addressed if the whole world unites to search for new solutions, rather than doing that on a national or regional level. We are very proud to work with Huawei and all other international partners on new worldwide standards that will empower new use cases for home, enterprise, and industrial needs. A major milestone in this context is the creation of an open lab environment. The Open Lab allows for joint international activities such as experimental proof of concept and technology demonstrations in a realistic environment. We are very proud that we can open such a lab today with your support here at HHI. Let us work together to serve the mankind's communication needs even better in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Thank all of you for your listening. Wish you a wonderful day at MWC. We have, we have exhibition in Huawei booth. Just now I introduced several, scenarios of optical solutions for the enterprise customers. All those solutions you can find in our booth in Huawei. You are always welcome to visit them. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Richard, for the fantastic speech today. It can be the same thing to experience the digitalization empowered by optical technologies and meanwhile to practice the green concept. Next, we have Mr. Marco Giraldo to give us more on Huawei's fiber-to-the-machine solution. His topic is FTTM, Building Future-Proof Industrial Network Infrastructure. Welcome, Mr. Marco.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Marco Giraldo, and the topic of today is fiber-to-the-machine solution, a solution that is building the future of industrial network infrastructure. Industrial digitization has become a major force to achieve higher efficiency and productivity. There are three trends that reshape the industrial landscape: unmanned operation, automated production, IT-OT convergence. All of them implies massive data collection, data analysis, data storage, and the application of machine learning algorithms that pose new challenges to traditional network. We see three main scenarios. First scenario, public data backhaul, like for example in railways and subway stations. Here, there is a large number of video backhaul and public information systems in order to create a safe and convenient travel experience. The network must enable simple deployment and an efficient operation and maintenance. Second scenario, production and control, like in port, where automated docks uses remote operation mode where high-definition, low-latency video are required. In factories, to produce high-precision product, machine vision is used to test product quality. These require high-definition images and video in real time. Any delay or frame freezing, will produce the interruption of the production process, which is unacceptable. The networks must provide higher bandwidth and lower latency. First scenario, production and inspection, like in power distribution automation. The collection of data from sensors, cameras, is vital to improve the response efficiency to emergency. So the network must be secure, reliable, and long-distance coverage must be ensured. This is why we propose here Huawei fiber-to-the-machine solution to handle the network requirements of various industrial scenarios. The solution has three main features to tackle the challenges. First, a simplified architecture that eliminates the need to build aggregated layers of networks, thus reducing the total cost of ownership of 30%. Second, being based on TDM technology, the solution offers deterministic low latency, in most of the cases less 1 millisecond, and zero jitter thanks to the fiber natural advantages. Third, the solution is based on fiber medium, so not subject to electromagnetic interference and corrosion, therefore useful in power grid environment. Fiber to the machine means a unified network with 100% physical isolation of services, thus providing safe and reliable network performance. Huawei fiber-to-the-machine solution has been widely used in multiple industries around the world, and now I will be presenting some customer cases. In Shanghai city, the local operator managing and running the subway network, one of the largest in the world. In subway station, a huge amount of data need to be collected from hundreds of devices, and the customer required a smooth network access. Fiber-to-the-machine solution has provided to the customer a simplified architecture where passive optical splitter replace active switching devices. Moreover, the network is reduced to only 2 layers, so saving 90% of cable space and 80% of equipment room. Moreover, thanks to our unique detect algorithm that enable rapid fault detection and switching from active to standby links in case of fault, a network with zero service interruption is possible. For Shanghai International Port Group customer, one of the largest port enterprise in Chinese mainland, they use Huawei solution to enable remote container operation. It was possible because our solution can provide deterministic low latency at ultra-high bandwidth. With fiber-to-the-machine solution, optical terminal communicates through fixed time slot with microseconds level latency and zero jitter. Moreover, adopting a symmetric 10 gigabits per second solution, we were able to bring directly to the machine gigabits of capacity. Today, personnel can operate container from comfortable office instead of staying on top of cranes in a narrow cabin for long hours. For CQ Company, one of the top oil extraction companies in China, they had the target to enable unattended operation for remote oil wells, thus providing high-speed and secure data collection, but also the need to reduce workforce on site. Thanks to our flattened architecture, oil wells are now directly controlled by the Control Process Facility Center that is located 20 kilometers far away from the oil wells. Moreover, workforce workload is reduced, and on-site personnel has been reduced too. The unified network provided by fiber-to-the-machine solution allows the transport of multiple services in dedicated hard pipe, so segregating the services from each other and with a proper quality of service. For one of the largest operators of power utilities in Brazil, CEMIG, they had the target to reduce the power outage duration and number of power outages of their power distribution network, and our solution was one of enablers for reaching such targets. By moving from traditional copper-based infrastructure to a fiber-based infrastructure that is immune to electromagnetic interference, this particular heavy in such environments, we were able to increase the reliability of the network. Also, the customer required equipment that could withstand with a standard temperature range, and we matched their requirement with our industrial optical network unit. Again, another customer in Brazil that is managing and running a 2,000-kilometer long highway. They had the need to replace old emergency call box with a new modern IP-based solution. So they decided to install Wi-Fi access point all along the highway, not only for providing wireless call function, but also for providing internet data access to personnel on site, even in mobility. They have deployed our solution by building a chain network topology with integrated optical splitter. And thanks to our pre-connectorized optical distribution network box, their deployment was easy and rapid. The installation of new optical terminal is simple, as a plug-and-play operation is done. Then, thanks to the optical performance of our Class D optical module, we were able to coverage a very long distance between the optical line terminal and the optical network unit, so reducing the number of active equipment in the network. Sorry, I have moved. Okay, this was the case for the Brazilian high wave operator, so I moved one slide after. Sorry. So, thanks to our huge R&D investment, we are able to bring to the market very innovative technologies. As said before, our Class D optical module can provide up to 35 dB of optical budget that allow to cover up to 40 kilometers of distance. Our pre-connectorized optical distribution network box provides zero fiber splicing and a very low insertion loss. Then, our innovative iDetect intelligent detection algorithm can provide rapid fault detection and enable the switching from active to standby link in less than 50 milliseconds. Part of the solution is also our industrial optical network unit, specifically designed for being installed in industrial and harsh environment. Like, for example, the TA23 model that can be beam guided rail mountable, and that provides two GPON, XGS-PON upstream interfaces, a mix of gigabit Ethernet, power over Ethernet capable, and serial interfaces in one box. Here is a non-exhaustive list of customers that have adopted our solution in the world. If you want to have more information about our solution, please come to our booth. It's just on the left after the entrance. You will find our expert at your disposal. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marco. We see the potential of optical network is so huge and the scenarios are so vast that no wonder optical network can become a future-proof choice. I just want to show you here something. This is from Richard Jin, and it's the latest type of optical units that he wanted to show before. So please, you may take a look at this. It's the two fingers he mentioned before of the products. And now we are honored to have our fellow from IEEE, Dr. Liu Xiang, to share with us how optical solution can be so important in remote transmission network connection. His topic is Single Optics. NHP builds a reliable all-optical base for industry digitalization. Welcome, Dr. Liu.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone, for spending your valuable time with us here today. As we have heard from the very good talks a moment ago, there are many use cases, very valuable use cases of the screen and the intelligent optical access network for banking industry, for power grid, for many industries that require dedicated high-quality optical connections. So here, as a fellow of IEEE, I will be giving some technical background to justify our claim that optical networks are the best suited for this kind of applications. But don't worry, even though this is, I'm tasked to give you technical details, but I'll try to make it very, easy to understand. So as we are in the so-called 5G era for mobile networks, in the fixed network domain, we can also have the so-called 5 generations, starting from 1980s when people use analog modulation and detection. So that's the first generation, about 40 years ago. Then the second generation is the so-called time division multiplexing based transmission based on quasi-synchronous transmission. Then the third generation is based on SDH. Many of you are using SDH to provide high-quality services. And then 10 years ago, optical transport network becomes a reality. That's the fourth generation. And then this decade, from the year 2020 to 2030, we mark this as the fifth generation of a fixed network. And one key technical aspect is the so-called optical service unit, which enables the services to be carried as units inside the fiber so that we can unicate the value and deliver basically the needed services with high cost effectiveness and energy efficiency. So very quickly, just to get some numbers, the second generation, the maximum data rate will be something like 100 megabits per second. The second generation, when we move to SDH, it's 10 gigabits per second, so 100 times increase in capacity per generation. Then in OTN, people get to 100 gigabits per second, or even with multiple wavelengths, 100 terabits per second per fiber, as mentioned by our President Richard a moment ago. So per wavelength, another 100 times increase. Per fiber, it's actually 100, basically 10,000 times increase. Then what's new about the so-called fifth generation OSU is that the capacity per fiber is still the same, but we are having much finer granularity as compared to OTN. So instead of 1.25 gigabits per second per service, we can go down to 2 megabits per second, or sometimes 10 megabits per second. So then you have this huge dynamic range, because in some cases you only need 10 megabits per second to carry a service. You do not want to use one fiber. Even though fiber is green, cost effective, but you do not want to use one fiber to carry one service. You do not want to use even one wavelength to carry one service. Then inside the wavelength, you do not want to use the OTN with 1.25 gigabits per second, container to carry your 10 megabits per second service. So now with this OSU, you can very flexibly adapt your container, basically the unit, the service unit, to carry your service with very high efficiency. So roughly speaking, inside the fiber, you know how many services we can carry? If we use this example of in the ITU, we are standardizing OSU by having 4,000 services carried by 100G. And with 100 terabits per second per fiber, you will have easily 1 million or over 1 million services per fiber. So that's basically shows the power of this new technology. Basically, we know fiber is simple, but now the first technical point that we want to get out of this session is that each fiber can give you millions of services. So per service, the cost will be much reduced. That's the economics behind this technical advance. So then, just use the power grid as an example. I will be very quick. And we are seeing 3 transformations. One is the energy transformation from isolated power generators or sources to distributed, diversified locations, and then to comprehensively collaborative network, the network of power generation. Then we have this carbon emission reduction from low carbon emission towards zero carbon emission. And in order to realize this global mission of carbon neutrality. Then on the digital side, we are helping with the communication infrastructure to support the power grid to realize not only digitalized service, but also intelligent service, so that operators can run the services at the ease of their central office. Yep. Then quickly, we'll show basically 3 technical aspects. The first one we already mentioned. Because of the use of the optical service unit, we can have millions of services per fiber. Yeah. Then the second thing we want to say is that we are seeing this vertical integration. The vertical integration between the wide area network and the access network, all the way to the consumers. So you have this end-to-end network slicing capability. So the service you have from your end user can go all the way through the access network, the aggregation network, the core network, to data center or to the other end with fully isolated time slot. So you have a guaranteed time slot. Like when you are traveling from your hometown to here, you have a ticket, airline ticket, and that is your seat. That one is guaranteed, and you can go all the way here without having any interference with others. And you can have a low latency operation because you have a ticket, even if you have a 1 stop or 2 stop in the middle, but you are guaranteed. Yeah, so that's the beauty of this vertical integration. So that's the second technical aspect. The third aspect is the horizontal dimension aggregation or convergence to aggregate different type of services, different fiber branches in the access area into a single main fiber. So by doing so, this is a point-to-multi-point structure. You save a fiber infrastructure. You get rid of this electronic signal processing in the middle, and also you can address all the different type of services that you have by using different fibers to different locations, and use different services units to carry different services all together. So this is very simple and very cost-effective. And here just to basically explain a little bit more in depth to show why this is a hard pipe. NHP is a native hard pipe. By using a fiber, it's a hard pipe. We know that. Then inside each fiber, we can have over 100 wavelength channels. Each wavelength channel is also a dedicated pipe, a hard pipe. Now, inside each wavelength, we have millions of time slots that we can use to carry services. So that is also hard. It's not like some other technologies where you have to use best effort. Sometimes you have to drop packets. You have a packet drop ratio. Here, guaranteed, no packet drop. So that's about the service guarantee. Then about scalability, because as we mentioned, we have millions of service units per fiber. We can really expand our coverage to take in multiple services from many users together in one single fiber or single wavelength. Finally, it's efficient operation. Even though we may have different services, different legacy generations of services, we can use passive fiber to aggregate them, because inside each service unit, we have a unique label, like your ID, to identify this service. So the processor at the intermediate nodes at the end can process all the services according to their type. So everything will be guaranteed. And just to say, just as one example, there are 3 different networks for this power grid network. One is the distribution and automation, where you will basically to look at every site and to control everything or the device automatically. So that's one network. The other network is basically unaffected operation of the cameras, because as mentioned in this smart mining scenario, we want to have a high definition video to come to the ground to monitor everything clearly, and also the smart port scenarios. So those require high capacity and high reliability. So that is a part of the network. Another is the energy distribution network. So there are so many different types of networks that you originally had to manage independently. But now with this hard pipe technology, you can just grab them with the fiber, and at the processing unit, based on the label of each service unit, you process them accordingly. So this makes your network very simple and easy to manage. And just to build on this kind of architecture and strategy, you can do the same thing for railway industry. In this case, in the railway industry, they are migrating from the GSM-R-based standard to 5G-like radio standard to do the control and management. And they have different standards. But don't worry, even though the services have different original types, but in the optical domain, we can use the optical service unit to carry them without interference and carry them to provide the individual performance as required. So this is another slide to just show you, in order to achieve all the three key technical aspects, to have a very good granularity and massive connections by having this OS optical service units for the first one. Second one is to have this vertical end-to-end network slicing capability from access to aggregation to core network spanning even hundreds of or thousands of kilometers. The third one is the horizontal convergence to aggregate all types of services together. So all these things need the technical experts to work together from different companies, different institutes, like HHI I mentioned earlier. So fortunately, we have international standards, standardization bodies like ITU, like IEC, like IEEE, and in China CCSA. We are working together to define the specifications of OSU-based native hard pipe technology, so that very soon you'll have global standards for all the wonderful things that you will be deploying in your networks and to better serve our customers. So eventually, as mentioned by many people in the room and in Mobile World Congress, we hope this green and intelligent optical network will serve as the foundation for ICT to enable our society to have the communication needs and to do so in a very energy efficient manner. With that, I would stop here and thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Lu. What an interesting sharing today. Generally speaking, it's more persuasive to hear people say when they have actually deployed the solution and they have experienced the network on a daily basis. Next, let's welcome Mr. Dennis Koskum, the Vice General Manager of TEIAS, to give us a speech. His topic is Hard Pipes, Building Efficient and Safe Power Networks. Welcome, Mr. Dennis.
Dear all, welcome to this part of our event. My name is Deniz Coşkun. I'm the Deputy General Manager of Turkish Electricity Transmission Company, which is the sole owner of the electricity transmission network in Turkey. My presentation will cover three parts. First part is related with our corporation. I'm going to give some brief information about our corporation. Second part is related with our communication structure. The third and the last part of my presentation is our project achievements. As I said, I'm going to give a brief information about our corporation. Our corporation has around 73,000 kilometer transmission line. We have 770 substations, which is these are owned by our corporation. The total is 366. We have around 17,000 staff, and our generation capacity is around 100 gigawatt. The total generation electricity is 331 terawatt hour. The consumption is almost equal. It is around 330. I would like to say a brief information about our position in the energy sector. TİH, as our corporation, constitutes the interaction structure between generation, the left side, the consumption is the right side, the consumer. We are in the middle. What are we doing? We are, as a transmission system operator, really plays a really critical role in the electricity chain. The major one is the network connection of the generation and consumption facilities. The second one is the providing grid infrastructure suitable for renewable energy generation. The third one is realization of investments that allows to increase the installed capacities. The fourth one is the balancing the system. This is the power balancing system, and there is also the other market, ancillary services market. We also responsible for that. And the last one is the implementing of the new technologies for more efficient operation. If we come to today's topic, my presentation title is Building Efficient and Safe Power Network. As you see here, as I mentioned before, our total transmission line is around 73,000 kilometers, and 33,000 kilometers of this total length is our fiber. We are deploying a fiber inside the ground wire, and the total SDH we have is 1,560. This is the total one. The TİH has the half of it. It's around 830. As you see here, we have different SDH equipments. We have different variety. We have 10 gigabit per second STM64, 2.5 gigabit per second STM16, and the lower speed we have 2 megabit per second digital multiplexer as well. I'm going to show this figure is our main backbone network, which represents our regional directorate. We have 22 regional directorates and 10 load dispatch centers. And among these load dispatch centers here, we are using STM64 SDH device for 10 gigabit per second capacity. For the other STM64 and STM16 capacity equipment, we are using between our general directorate and our regional directorates. And also we are using network management system for manage these systems. these are the areas of our, the usage areas of our fiber communication infrastructure. The mission critical one, the most important one, is the SCADA part. Communication infrastructure of the SCADA system required for the operation of transmission system. We are using our own fiber in order to communicate with the sites. The other one is the voice communication between the load dispatch center and the substations. The third one is the protection, teleprotection. This is used for the relay communication. And also real-time data exchange with the other international organization, the other TSOs in Europe. Also, we are using this communication infrastructure. We are using protection communication of interconnection lines. And for the special protection system, this is also used the communication infrastructure. And also we are providing internet access to all 770 substations, which are our own. This is again our main backbone network. We are using different SDH equipment. And the third part, the last part of my presentation is the project achievements. This is the project achievement. As I said before, we are using the highest capacity of the SDH, 10 gigabit per second among these load dispatch centers. The other one is the regional directorates and our general directorate. We are using majority. We are using STM16, but also STM64 as well. As you see here, our main backbone is redundant, reliable, and high capacity. By using this fiber infrastructure, our fiber infrastructure has become more effective and efficient. And by network management system, we are reducing the operating and maintenance costs. Instantly, we are detecting the faults, and in the event of any failure, the critical traffic can be diverted to another route. And the last part is the added values of the Huawei. The most important added value of the Huawei solution is integrated SDH and MUX. The other vendors does not provide such a solution. Thanks to this integration, the management can be easy and we are saving energy and space. The other one is the accessible technical support. We have a local language speaking and easily accessible technical support in Turkey, to Huawei Turkey. We are really working closely with them. The other topic is our fiber optic network is growing. Since the half of total transmission line we have fiber optic network is, as I said, around 34,000 kilometers, and we are also growing and we are investing a lot our infrastructure. And with this solution, with Huawei solution, it is easy to extend it more. The other one is all services PCM, PDH, and SDH and Ethernet are together in this solution. We have a high capacity link speed and crossover. As I said before, thanks to NMS network management system, we are reducing operating and maintenance cost. And also I would like to mention one topic. We are using our own needs for the fiber, but the remaining ones also we are hiring them to telecom service provider, and we are requiring gaining some money. Per year, around more than 100 million Turkish liras, we are reacquiring money from that purpose. Thank you for listening me, and thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Mr. Dennis, for your speech. Last but not least, we have Mr. Xu Xiaoliang, the Director of Optical Fiber Affairs Department from Shandong Yihua Gas Company, to join us online with the final part of today's event. The topic is Distributed Optical Fiber Sensing, Optical Garden of Pipelines. Welcome, Mr. Xu.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I'm Xu Xiaoliang, Director of the Optical Fiber Affairs Department at Shandong Yihua Gas Company Limited. It is my honor to share with you our joint innovation project on building safe and intelligent pipeline service. First, allow me to introduce you to our company. Shandong Yihua Gas is one of the two major franchise gas supply enterprises in Jinan City. The company provides high-pressure gas storage and transmission and medium-pressure ring network gas transmission and distribution. Our annual natural gas receiving capacity reaches 4.98 billion cubic meters, and our gas pipeline distribution network is more than 3,000 kilometers. Our business philosophy is safe operation, high-quality service, stable gas supply, and orderly development. We are committed to innovation, which is our primary driving force of business. We promote development with safety, seek benefits from management to further develop safe and intelligent pipeline service capabilities. The traditional oil and gas industry is facing a contradiction between business development and safety management capability improvement. Especially safety issues such as external damage of pipeline are critical and difficult to manage and control. Such issues are the main links of safety management because they are sudden, severe, and uncontrollable. There is no time or seasonal pattern in their occurrence. It is probable that they cause massive leakage and subsequent damage. To ensure pipeline safety, we increased inspection personnel and introduced technical means such as UAV inspection and video surveillance. However, there were still some problems. The staff cost was high. The adopted technologies had low precision and limited control distance, and they could be easily influenced by the environment. As we all know, sensing technology has been evolving since the 1950s. Now, the fourth generation technology can support intelligent remote sensing and telemetry. By utilizing fiber optics advantages of intrinsic safety, easy deployment, and 24-hour coverage, the technology can effectively solve the management and O&M problems in the oil and gas industry. In addition, intelligent sensing technology with multiple dimension recognition and analysis capabilities and AI adaptive recognition will be able to represent monitored incidents more completely and accurately. Therefore, fiber optic sensing technology will be an effective means to prevent the pipelines from being damaged by external force. Intelligent optical fiber sensing involves many subjects and technologies, such as optical sensing, artificial intelligence, geological information, intelligent management, and so on. Most equipment vendors have technical advantages in a single subject or part of technologies. 1. Inaccurate incident location. 2. Low incident recognition rate and high false positive rate. 3. The technologies used in the equipment are not completely autonomous, and the supporting management system has limited functions. By integrating the OptiX Sense EF3000 pre-warning unit and the OptiX Sense AIE analytics service, Huawei has solved the preceding problems effectively. With a powerful ODSB module, the sampling rate can reach 5.2 gigabit per second. More field information means that we can provide more reliable support for accurate recognition. The equipment works with the leading vibration analysis algorithm to decompose and recognize vibration ripple information in up to 32 dimensions. With more analysis dimensions, it can overcome the impact of the environment and surrounding noises. improving the incident recognition accuracy to over 95%. Therefore, the incidents in the field can be better represented, and the incident features can be extracted more accurately. The AI algorithms customized for our industry work with a host computer with a computing power of 40 at FP32 to implement 1,000 data iterations per day, providing support for fast and accurate recognition of incidents. Secondly, besides the optical fiber sensing equipment itself, the whole process management in the application of equipment is also an important factor that restricts the effectiveness of the program. As we all know, long-distance transmission pipelines of oil and gas are usually located in remote areas, and local management of outsourced inspection personnel has reached its bottleneck. As business develops and pipelines expand, the increase in labor and O&M costs has also become an important factor that limits the profit of oil and gas enterprises. At the same time, oil and gas enterprises should improve their management, making sure there's no loophole in safety management. New technologies such as optical fiber sensing need to be integrated with the original management process to fully exploit the advantages of preventing external damages to pipes and reduce O&M costs. To address the above issues, we have worked with ecosystem partners to propose a smart integrated management system based on Huawei's optical fiber sensing solution, combining our rich experience and advantages in infrastructure construction, support management, adaptation improvement, and tracking services. We have built the whole process of services that cover the whole service life cycle, including early survey of environment, on-site deployment, on-site line survey and benchmarking, environment adaptability commissioning, simulation tests, and customer delivery training to help users realize effective integration and management improvement of the original work process with the applied solution. Now, we have jointly completed the commercial use testing. The field technical test was carried out based on the Qihe Chiping pipeline of Jihua Gas, and the safety monitoring cable constructed in parallel. Our field test result is shown on the slide. The test proves that the report rate is significantly higher than that of the industry. To build upon this joint project, we will continue to collect and update samples on site to recognize as many incident types as possible, explore more accurate recognition algorithms, and provide more efficient technical assurance for safety management in the oil and gas industry. That is all of my sharing. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Xu. This brings us to the end of today's event. The Green Intelligent Optics Network is not just a concept, it's a belief of a future-oriented network choice. We are confident that green is the only and ultimate choice to sustainable industrial digital transformation. Thank you, everyone, for participating.